This is Goals with Soul, the podcast for visionary coaches and entrepreneurs, building your business with inspired action. In alignment with your mission and authentic message, so you can create impact for your soul clients and feel lit up every day. I'm your host, Jo Ingram, married mum of 3 daughters from London and a former ad agency director turned business coach and strategist. In Goals with Soul, we blend revenue generation with energetics, marketing strategies with pranic healing, and ambitious business goals with our soul's desires. If you're looking to build your business with less efforting and more ease, this is the podcast for you. Let's dive in. Welcome to Goals with Soul. I'm Joanna Ingram, and right now I'm taking my daily walk around the woods. You'll probably hear the birds in the background, and I've just had this download that I have to share right in the moment. And it's something I've been ruminating on for a while, and this is the idea of generalists versus specialists. Now, if you are a coach or healer, which if you're listening to Goals with Soul, you most likely are, you may have got into the conundrum of adding more services because you feel like your clients or prospective clients just want more things. So a good example of this might be someone that specializes in an energetic modality who adds business coaching, or somebody that is currently business coaching but feels they need to expand to teaching people sales tactics or how to show up on reels, for example. Now, almost every case, it's because you have got some expertise in this too. As a business owner and as someone that's been growing your business for some time, I imagine, you will have gotten to a place where you've got competence and even some expertise in a number of different areas. And I know over, the last few months or maybe the last year or so, people have got more and more concerned about client acquisition, about making sales. And I've been looking around and going, well, what is it that I need to offer to make my business, my offers more attractive? And so frequently, the answer to that seems to be, I'll add more services. You know, my clients take the piece that I was always offering, but then they get stuck. So what if I offer them the next piece? And the problem is with that it might not be something you really love to do. What you've done is you've identified it as something that they need, but it's not something, even though you have competence, that you actually want to deliver. I've got quite a bit of experience of doing this myself. I know in the past I was doing a lot more general business coaching. I set myself up as business strategy, but then found I was working with a lot of clients who were new to the online business, new to online coaching, and there were so many things they needed to learn. So I just kept adding. You know, I learned how to make reels, so I would teach how to make reels. I learned how to conduct discovery calls, so I would create training on that. And every little piece I started to offer until it became a massive web of things that I could do, and different Loom videos, different Kajabi trainings, you get the idea. And for a while, I was quite successful, and I had quite a few clients who came in and just loved it. They wanted more tech videos, so I added more and so on. But as I progressed and I started understanding my energetics around business, I realized 2 things. First of all, I realized that I didn't enjoy doing that very much. And the reason I didn't enjoy it was because it wasn't the core zone of genius that I was showing up for. It was auxiliary offers. Now, the second thing I realized was that actually the more things I was offering, the more I was compounding the interest that I was getting from newbies, from coaches or healers in their first year or so of business. Now, whilst I adore working with all talented people, as my business developed, I found that my specialism was most attuned to help those people who were more advanced, who were more established in the online coaching business. And this is because as I worked with more and more experienced coaches, I realized that actually it was the elevation of messaging that I was adding an immense amount of value for their business, and they were able to attract much higher value clients, more high vibe clients. And this had been my quest in my own business. One of the big questions I'd asked myself was, how can I attract, more premium, higher value clients who are also more motivated, more energized, and could match the sort of energy that I bring to my coaching? And I realized that actually in doing that, it was all about elevation of messaging, and that meant specializing. Now, you see where I'm going with this. It was not about becoming more of a generalist and adding more strings to my bow and more elements to my offers. It was actually about simplifying and refining my offers and dialing it back into my unique zone of genius and articulating my unique brilliance. And this has become increasingly what I'm doing for clients. In fact, just recently, I've had 2 clients come to me that this fitted them exactly. They showed up and I did the usual analysis I do of their offers and of the ecosystem of their business and seeing really what they're talking about in their content, what they're sharing with clients and who they're bringing in as a result. And found that it was almost a complete correlation that the more things you added, the more likely you were to attract people who were newer into the business. Now, the problem that these clients found that reflected my own experience was that when people are newer into business, they do have much more objections to higher price points. Now, I want to say that this does, of course, have exceptions. I was an exception to that. In my first year of business, I invested tens of thousands in experts and containers and programs. But often is the case is that only the most motivated and energized people are going to do that. And frequently, if you are creating messaging and content and, well, offers indeed that are completely generalist and adding more and more things, people come because they think, well, this is great. I've come because I really want more sales training, but isn't it great that I'm also getting this and they're offering strategy days and they're offering this and this and this. And let me tell you something that not everybody realizes, and the clients that I've just mentioned didn't understand this to begin with at all, is that the more experienced and elevated a potential client, the more they want to invest in the specialist. They don't want somebody that does a number of things. They want the go-to person that just does that one thing. And the reason that is because they've got a bit more experience. They are better qualified to understand what their problem actually is. So whereas somebody who might be newer may be going, I'm not actually sure where my problem is. I don't know if it's my energy. I don't know if it's my strategy. I don't know if it's any of these things. So actually working with someone that offers a little bit of everything is going to be perfect for me. The more experienced person says, you know what, I really know right now, for example, I have got a shit hot strategy. I really know what I'm doing here. I've got all my funnels set up. I've got everything going on, but I have an upper limit problem and I cannot seem to just break through this particular income level every single month. I really believe it's a mindset or energetics piece, and I want to find somebody specific to help me with that in a really elevated way. Someone that's going to go deep, and we're going to concentrate on this one thing because I know that that's the missing piece that's going to completely transform everything else I'm doing. Similarly, it could be somebody that, is a healer, has great energetics, understands how to serve their clients, has great offers, but feels that they just don't have a great funnel and a great pipeline, and they want somebody to help them build their funnel and work with them on Facebook ads. Now, they're not going to be attracted to somebody who says, yeah, I do Facebook ads and I do offer creation and I. They're going to say, well, I don't need any of that. And it sounds to me if they're going to offer all of that, I'm not really going to be able to go deep enough on the one thing that I need and want the most. And in working with those clients, I not only identified that they'd fallen into the generalist trap, which, by the way, before I go on, I want to say that if you are listening to this and you're thinking, well, actually, I am a bit of a generalist and I like it. Thank you, Joanna. There is nothing wrong with being a generalist, provided you are happy with the clients that you are attracting. I'll say that again. If you're happy, this isn't a problem. This advice just isn't relevant for you. But if you have been offering a large number of offers in your suite, all slightly adjacent to each other, as my clients were, and you wanted to move to a position of attracting more elevated premium clients who work with you for longer, who pay more, who are more motivated and energized, and frankly just light you up a heck of a lot more, then this information is not only relevant, but really valuable to you. find out exactly what your specialism is. And you shouldn't have to try very hard. It's the thing that you love doing most, that you get the most remarkable results. If you could attract the best client in the world and only work with them on one thing and they get the most astonishing results, that's probably your zone of genius. And that's why I have refined my offers over the last couple of years to a place now where I'm like, I know exactly what I do. I do elevated messaging. I articulate the genius of my clients, their unique brilliance, so they can attract higher level, more premium clients and feel back in love with their business, which, you know, is the overriding thing that stops us from making progress, is where we feel bored or tired by our own offers or uninspired by the clients that we're attracting. So generalist versus specialist. What is it about your business that maybe has become a little bit too complex and is attracting people who aren't at the right stage of business to those that you know you're ready to attract? And I'd also just sort of wrap up by saying that having gone down a generalist route is not unusual, actually. It's understandable. And I think a lot of us in the first 5 years of business do often go that way. But it doesn't mean that has to be the same trajectory that you now take for the next 2, 3, 5 years. And actually the question is, what is it you want most? And I know that for myself and for my clients, the answer to that is always, I want to work with the most amazing clients. And those clients pay high ticket prices. They work with me over a longer period of time, and they do the work and get the best results. You know, it's being able to have that outcome that you know is possible when you work in your zone of genius with a motivated client, rather than getting those kind of half-half outcomes where people get something but not quite where you know they could be getting to. And that's often because we're offering too many things to clients that aren't at a high enough level to really utilize our genius to get the best, most outstanding results. So there's an interesting thing that I discovered when I started working with this particular client, because she came to me wanting to articulate her brilliance and her messaging to attract more clients into her containers. But in our first session, which I always do, the brand epic session, which is a deep dive into exactly what your messaging needs to be and goes to the real heart of what you have to express in the world, and realised more and more that her generalist approach had taken her off course for where she wanted to be. And although she thought at first we'd be expressing the articulation of the messaging of where she currently was, actually we completely stripped it back. And it wasn't a big surprise to me that when I saw what it was about her brilliance that she should be dialing up, she should be amplifying, she said, "Oh, it's funny you should say that, because whenever I put a post out about this particular topic, everybody goes mad. I have so much demand." And it was incredible that it was so aligned that really this was the thing that stood her apart from others in her niche. Because the problem is that when you're a generalist, you tend to blend in and you don't stand out from others who are all doing the same thing. But when you literally zone in on that one thing that you are specifically phenomenal at, you attract those people that are looking for that one thing and you get known for it. And she realized that actually she'd let that go through a feeling of scarcity and fear that people wouldn't want to work with her on that one thing. So she'd added more and more. But what she'd done, of course, was start to attract people that wanted lots and lots of things. And really she's a phenomenal expert and incredible energetics, healer, coach, all the things. And what she needed to do was just focus on what about her really stood out. And her problem wasn't specifically that what she was offering wasn't up to par or wasn't good enough or wasn't attractive. It was just that the caliber of person she was attracting was, of course, the person that wanted it all rather than wanted the one thing. And after our work, she really started leaning into creating content about her zone of genius. And she was getting so much response. And the question then became, how do I take them through my customer journey? How do I then convert them? How do I sift through the people who are showing interest and find out those people who are the best fit to work with me in the way that I want to work with, which was a very different problem Suddenly it's a high caliber of problem, which is I've got so many people showing an interest. Now it's about creating the sorts of communications and customer buying journey that's going to really identify those people and express to them exactly the value of my work. If this is resonating with you, this is a call that it's time to up level. It's time to elevate your messaging and zero in on that one thing that's going to attract premium clients. If you'd like to have a chat with me on one of my free messaging clarity calls, just DM me over on Instagram at iamjo.ingram for a pressure-free space to look to see whether this is the solution to some of the challenges in your business right now and to get to know each other a little better. And so have an inspired action week. Take care. Bye now.